Blessings, my tribal sisters, and welcome to Infinity Health with Julia Valley, where the mind goes, the body flows. I'm a health coach, and I'm here to share with you some information that you may either find interesting or very shocking, that most diets do work. Yes, there are environmental factors and there may be genetic factors as to whether or not it's effective. But what I've realized in my course of study as a health coach is that it's truly all about the mind. I've been challenged with weight loss and inflammation and an autoimmune disease. And what I've realized in my own personal journey is that the only time that I've had success is when I've thought mindfully about the foods that I'm putting into my body to handle the situation at hand at that time. So ladies, if you are here to get to know you better, and to have your mind control your body, then you are in the right place. So let's get started. We started off with mindset. What does that mean exactly? Mindset, and I'm going to read this off, is an established set of attitudes, a series of self-perceptions and belief. We tend to look for foods that complement our emotions, especially when we're stressed and overwhelmed, burnt out, and depressed. And so let's think about your food choices. Think about the beginning of the week sometimes versus the end of the week. Think about where the stressors come in. Maybe we go from a glass of wine to, on Friday, a bottle of wine, depending on where your work week starts and ends. Think about a very stressful day, super stressful, high demands. Everyone is asking you or needs something from you. You didn't have a moment to breathe, and you have just been problem solving all day long. Think about the food choice you make at the end of that day, where you feel the need to reward yourself for really being able to get through that day successfully. Maybe fried chicken and waffles, maybe a pasta dish. But think about a day where you've had nothing but blessings. Everything that you've done has turned out right. Then that day, you may be able to then go home and have that salad you know that you've wanted and that your body actually needs. So our choices are very different based on the situation at hand. So take a moment in the comments below and share the food that may be controlling you, because the reality is many times our food controls us. We don't control our food choices. But how can we start controlling our food choices? Let's think about what's really happening in our mind. Let's think about what's really happening with our emotions. So I'm going to share with you some information from my research. Under stressful situations, both acute and chronic, under stressful situations, both acute and chronic, our need for food increases in order to get that dopamine, that quick fix, to calm down our emotions of anxiety or feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes we go for the sugar fix when we're in a situation of flight or fright. So take a moment to acknowledge how you're feeling on a super stressful day. And again, take a moment to think about the food choice you may make on a very stressful day. What is your mind telling you? How are your emotions controlling your thoughts? Because that's what's really going on. Your emotions happen to be in full, complete control of that lunch, brunch, or dinner menu that you're choosing from, whether out with friends or at home. How you are actually feeling will definitely determine the food choices that you make. But take a moment to just record mentally how you're really feeling about that food. How does it make your mind feel as you're eating that food? What is your mind telling you, I should say? What's your mind telling you? How are your emotions and how is your body feeling as you eat that food that you know in that moment that may not have been the best choice? But in this situation, what I'm asking is that you give yourself a little bit of grace. Because this exercise of taking a moment to think about what you're eating is not because we're not going to have the fried chicken and waffles or the pasta. I know from my own experience, I've stopped to think about it, and I've still managed to enjoy that meal. However, what I have done is taken a moment to think about what is really happening with me, especially if I'm not hungry and I'm still having that meal. What is happening with me in the moment, and what choice can I make differently the next time? Because most of the time, those situations will definitely arise again, especially if it's a chronic situation that you're dealing with on a regular, consistent basis. Think about possibly having less of that meal as opposed to having the entire thing. Maybe I'm going to have half. Maybe I'm going to split what would have been one meal into two. And maybe I'm really going to start to evaluate, how is this really making my body feel? Emotionally, you feel awesome in the moment until after you do that reflection. But again, this is about giving yourself some grace. As we transform ourselves to be our healthiest and best selves, we're also going to be able to afford ourselves some grace through the process. So before we close today, again, I invite you to share in the comments foods that is currently controlling you, and to click on that link and watch the quick video from Psych Hub about how we can start to have some positive self-talk with ourselves. And then the third thing we're going to do right now is we're going to do some breathing exercises, but we're not going to do them from our chest. We're going to do them from our stomach. We're going to do them from our belly area. So we're going to do some belly breathing where we can sometimes just take a moment and just stop in the day when we're really, really stressful. Just take a moment. If you can go into a dark place, that's wonderful. If you have to go into the restroom, do what you need to do. But sometimes if we just take a moment to just stop and breathe, that can also change the outcome, that can calm our emotions and then change our mindset to help us make a better decision for our body. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to breathe 3 times. And the first time we're just going to breathe in and breathe out. And then the last 2 times we're going to think about how we're feeling, what kind of space we're in, and the choice that we've made. And if we need to make a change in that choice on that third breathing, we're going to think about that change that we can make. So let's do our first one. Breathe in from our belly. Fill your belly. And out through your nose. And one more time again, we're going to breathe in. How are we feeling? What choices are we making? Fill our belly. And out through our nose. Do I need to make a different choice? Even if it's not today, but maybe in the near future. Let's breathe in one more time. Hold it. And breathe out. Now, if this information has been in any way enriching to your day or your life, please like, share, and subscribe, as we will continue in this series to talk about how we can start to make some simple changes in our mindset that's going to start to transform our health, transform our bodies, and help us to love us just a little bit more each day. Until next time, blessings, my tribal sisters. Give yourself a hug. Thank you for joining me today. Have a blessed day.